The Firing Squad opens in theaters tomorrow. The new movie tells the true story of three men on death row who find hope in Jesus. Oscar-winning actor Cuba Gooding Jr. plays a convicted murderer in the film. He says the role helped him to find hope during a very dark time in his personal life. Ephraim Graham has his story.
From his breakout performance in The Boys in the Hood,
show me the money,
to his Academy Award-winning role in Jerry Maguire.
Me only, Mark. Camera and action.
Cuba Gooding Jr.'s acting resume grows more impressive with each new film, more than 50 and counting.
God is good.
Right.
God is good. Yeah.
You've been at this for a while. How would you describe this time of your life and career?
You know, it's funny because you get to a certain age and you start to reflect, obviously. You know, I hit 56 years ago, right? So 56. And you look back and you learn from all of the good and the bad.
The bad?
This week, new accusations coming to light against Cuba Gooding Jr. The allegations come from a former producer for Combs.
A series of accusations, arrests, lawsuits, plea deals, and settlements over the last few years.
What's kept you through adversity when the headlines come and the accusations come? What's kept you?
I wake up every morning and I say, thine will be done, along with several other prayers. But I know that God put me here with the instrument he gave me to show truth through emotion. The favorite movies that I do are always the real-life characters, from Master Chief Carl Bashir to Dory Miller in Pearl Harbor to Ben Carson in Gifted Hands. But he's also given me the ability to tell the truth in the darker characters, like O.J. Simpson in The People vs. O.J. Simpson, Nicky Barnes in American Gangster. So I have to know that I'm here to express truth. And you see headlines, you see things that aren't truthful, and it hurts, but I know that God has a plan for me. As long as I stay on his journey and I pray his will is done, then I'm fine. I can't worry about the other stuff.
Cuba's latest film helps him to focus on the good in his journey. The Firing Squad is based on the true stories of three Americans on death row in a foreign prison.
Hey, my brother.
Hey,
I heard you found Christ in solitary.
that I
That's
did.
amazing, brother. Well, guess what? I found Christ, too.
You play Samuel Wilson. What happens when you first read the script?
Tim Shea wrote, produced, and directed this movie. Tim Shea also produced a movie I did called Freedom. And we shot that movie, and at the end of it, Tim and I had a connection, and he said, I'm doing this new movie, and it's gonna be a bit, but when I get it, I'm gonna send it to you. I said, send me anything. 13 years later, he sends me this. He said, it's a true story of these three Americans who find each other in an Indonesian prison and been sentenced to death by firing squad. And I want you to play one of these prisoners. So I said, all right, send it to me. I read it. And I wept and wept and wept at the end of it. And I called him and I said, you gotta understand something. You're asking me to sing Amazing Grace at the end of this movie like you did in Freedom. He said, yes. And I said, phew. I said, my father passed away in 2017.
Dad.
And there's no guarantee that the one you love is gonna love you.
Cuba Gooding Sr. was the lead singer in the 1970s R&B group, The Main Ingredient.
And my dad always said, you're the actor, I'm the singer. You can't sing, you act, and I sing. Then when he passed away, literally, they called me to star on the London stage of a production Chicago, the musical.
Wow.
To play Billy Flynn. And the first thing I said is, I can't sing. They said, oh, it's more talking. I said, but we'll get you a vocal coach. And then I stepped on that stage, and my father's voice came out of me. And I thought it was for that production. And then Tim calls. And I'm telling you, when I read that end scene, it just opened emotion in me. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
Did this film change you in any way?
It unlocked, again, a renown faith I have in God and the walk that I have with him, and it announced to the world, don't forget who this kid is and where he's from. It's one thing to say that you believe in God and say that you walk in faith, but it's another thing to remind people exactly where my joy comes from. My mom said to me in darkest times, she said, son, never let them take your joy. And that's the one thing that I insist on is that, as crazy as things get, I just got to keep smiling and, because this is who I am. That save a wretch like me.
God's grace is indeed amazing. Ephraim Graham, CBN News.
Well, his new movie is called The Firing Squad, and it opens tomorrow in theaters nationwide.